Welcome back to Self-Built. Today, this video is all about recovery. Not your average recovery after a gym. This is kind of the dreaded recovery of an injury. This is going to be specifically geared towards a thrown out shoulder. First disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physical therapist, but I can tell you through my own personal experience that these tips I'm going to share with you today are definitely going to help promote the most healing that you can do and also help avoid any further injuries to such shoulder. The reason that this video has even come about is because, well, I kind of threw my shoulder out about 2 weeks ago. It's kind of an embarrassing story, but I'll share it with you guys. I was teaching one of my friends how to play frisbee golf, and on the second hole, I was like, all right, this is how you're gonna do a really cool running throw to where you really torque your body, reach back, and just throw it out. Well, I got to probably about here, and I just felt my strength go to absolute zero, tons of pain, and I immediately grabbed my shoulder. The sad part is I didn't even throw it that far. But what I'm thinking happened is my shoulder came halfway out of socket. I don't think it fully came out because I didn't have to reset it. When something like that happens to your shoulder, it's very traumatic to the tissues and the tendons that are in this area. There's a lot of tendons and ligaments that are going to get micro torn. If it's really bad, you might tear a rotator cuff, you might tear some tendons or ligaments, and it might require surgery. The recovery rate of a shoulder that's thrown out is very, very vast. A lot of it depends on the severity of the injury, also how old you are and what you're going to do about it to help yourself recover. But if you give it a quick goog, it's anywhere from 2 to 12 weeks. And for me, I was like, I want to get back into the gym as soon as I can without hurting myself, of course. So I started thinking, how can I help this injury recover? And I have some knowledge from a previous shoulder surgery to help know what kind of therapies are really helpful for it and what I should do. I'll have to say, I was super shocked that throwing a simple frisbee would really jack my shoulder up so bad, because I am very, very adamant of doing rotator cuff workouts before every workout. I have very healthy shoulders, and they never click, they never bug me or anything like that, so I was like, dang. But this is a great metaphor and example of just things that happen in life. Life can throw things at you that no matter how much you prepare for it, something will come from a different angle, you'll get blindsided by something, and it really makes you stop and think of how do you want to proceed when something negative or bad happens to you. In my experience, a lot of negative and bad things have always been my greatest teachers, and I learn the most from them. Not only from the situation itself, but you learn a lot about who you are and how you react to things when the chips are down. And if you really want to find out what you're made of, is when life applies some pressure to you, you're definitely going to find out what comes out. My favorite metaphor is if you apply pressure to an orange and you squeeze it, what comes out? Orange juice. And so if you're getting squoze, what comes out of you? Does negativity or positivity come out of you? And so I just want to encourage you guys to always try to look for the positive and to keep moving forward as much as you can. Enough of the pep talk and motivation. Now let's talk about the thinking behind how I'm going to heal my shoulder. Tendons and ligaments heal extremely slower than muscles do. One of the biggest factors is muscles have a much bigger blood supply. It's a lot more new blood and nutrition, oxygen help it recover, where the tendons and ligaments, they don't get it so much. And my goal is to get as much blood flow to my shoulder as possible. One of the easiest ways of doing it is applying heat. So I have a heat pad that I've had from previous injuries or just ways of healing, and just hang out and let this thing sit on here. You're probably going to notice when you have a big shoulder injury that all of the supporting muscles and everything is going to be really, really tight. And so this will kind of help loosen things up a little bit. The first day that it happened, yes, I did finish the course. I had to use my left hand, but I ain't no quitter. And then after that, then I was like, okay, I should probably rest. So rest is the most important thing. And then applying heat to helping the muscle relax and get some extra blood flow is definitely key. I noticed that I was really, really tight on the front and in the back, so I would position this accordingly. And in conjunction with that, I would also use a massage gun. This one's kind of a Frankenstein. I really like this one because it really hits hard, which isn't necessary for this injury, but just in general, when you're going over like thighs and stuff, you need something that can kind of get deep. What I would do is I was gently hitting the front and hitting the back, and it really helped loosen up, get a little extra range of motion. On top of resting and getting blood flow to the shoulder, I had 3 goals or 3 milestones that I really wanted to reach in my states of recovery. First one was range of motion. Want to be able to make sure I can do everything's stable. Second one is I want to be able to have a little bit of strength to it. And third one is I want stability in the joint. This can be completely bad advice, and just something that I'm just a little crazy about is I did a back workout the next day. Now, you can't really call it a workout, it's more of a therapy session is what I would say, because I was basically just finding out what my shoulder can do, what kind of range of motion I can do, and what kind of weight it's able to move comfortably. If you've seen any of my videos, I'll usually do a big warm-up before every workout with rotator cuffs with my cables, but I figured I'm going to start really light, so I lightened it all the way and it still didn't feel very good. So I jumped to some bands just to really start bare bones at the very bottom. You really need to be humble when you're trying to heal yourself and not jump too quick into weight or range of motion that your body's not ready for. And what I would do is I would just very gently, very carefully, I would just see what my shoulder's capable of doing. And in this first therapy session, you need to be hyper vigilant of what your body's telling you, because it'll tell you if something's uncomfortable, painful, or okay. And my shoulder was telling me a variety of different things. First, it was telling me when things felt okay. It was also telling when it started to hurt. And then it also started to tell when things were really tight. And with it being the first session, I wasn't going to push it at all. I just wanted to play where it didn't hurt and it didn't feel tight. So I really limited my range of motion. And so my first therapy workout, it was basically just doing this. For this particular movement, I wasn't moving much at all, but my goal was to be able to find out what my shoulder was capable of, and also trying to just get a little extra blood flow in here with a little bit of motion. Second one was doing this motion on the rotator cuff and stability. This one's lingered a little bit and taken a little longer to recover, but it's gotten so much better. I'm actually 2 weeks out from my injury, and I would say I'm probably somewhere around 97 to 98% full capacity, but I'll go over the details on that in a little bit. My first therapy workout, I was doing back, and so when I was doing cables, I think I was doing 5 or 10 pounds. You really need to be humble and listen to your body. I severely limited my range of motion. When I was doing rows, I was just doing this. I wasn't going any further than that because that is all my body was telling me that felt good. So I took full advantage of what felt good. Didn't want to get to the stretch or the pain portion. It was all about just getting that blood in there. My next day was a rest day, so that was easy. I just chilled, left the heating pad on my shoulder, did a little bit of massage gunning, and really just took it easy. As a pro tip, I would go to sleep with this thing on your shoulder just to promote more blood flow and to try to get as much healing as you can. When chest day came around, I really had to modify. My shoulder was improving, but when I was doing bench, I was doing something that was totally stable, so I'm pretty lucky to have a Smith machine. But my range of motion, it was here to there. It wasn't much. It was just trying to get in that comfortable position to where my body's telling me that it feels okay. I think I was doing just the bar, which is totally fine. I'm not trying to do a bunch of weight. I'm really just trying to do some therapy and helping get that range of motion and get that strength. When leg day turned around, then it was full bore. I didn't have anything limiting me, so I could have a ton of fun, get a great workout, and get a ton of blood flow into that shoulder. And so I would repeat these things, and these are the things you want to repeat. You want to be applying heat, you want to do massage if it helps. The day of the injury, my front shoulder was super tight, so I hit it for a minute and it felt so much better. I mean, it's natural for your body and everything to just really tighten up if something comes out of socket. It doesn't really want that to happen. And I do appreciate it because it doesn't feel good. I know what that feels like. And as you repeat these processes, you're going to see some really good recovery, and you really need to celebrate the small things. It was about a week before I could grab my seatbelt and buckle it in all in one swoop without needing some help or anything like that. And this scenario, as bad as it may seem of like, oh no, I got an injury, I can't work out as much as I want to, you know, it really resets your mindset, and it really helps you become grateful for the daily things that you take for granted all the time. Being able to buckle yourself in, being able to answer the phone, or just washing yourself and being able to do that without any pain, it's awesome. This experience has really taught me just to be grateful for the small things and to really have a lot of empathy for people that struggle with those things. And if you're watching this video because you have thrown out your shoulder or injured it, I am so sorry. I know what that feels like and I know what's going through your mind, but just know that there is healing at the end of the road. And if you apply these steps, I know it's going to help shorten that road to recovery and help you get back to life and enjoying the things that you like doing. As the days go by and you're doing your therapy workouts, just be very cautious to when you're doing a little bit more increased range of motion or when you're doing a little bit more weight. Back to where I am, and it's been 2 weeks since my recovery. I could probably go back to doing my same weight and everything right now, but I'm going to wait and take it easy because 3 positions to where my shoulder doesn't feel the best just yet. It's almost there. But for example, when I'm doing my rotator cuff, I'm able to do the same amount of weight that I've always done, which is awesome. But that very first point, right when I apply some weight, there is a tiny bit of discomfort. It's gone down so much. I know it's going to go away, but it's like that's just an indicator saying, hey, we're still healing. Don't go full bore yet, but we're getting there. The other one is if I do a really deep stretch, I have to kind of find it because it's almost gone. But if I do a really deep stretch and I'm not warmed up, I'll feel just barely a little spot of uncomfortableness, and then right here, I'll feel it about right here is when I feel it when I do that deep stretch. And when I'm warmed up, it doesn't feel that way. So to me, I'm just thinking that's probably some inflammation, some soreness that is still in the shoulder, and that it's still healing. And I'm happy to wait until I'm fully healed, because with me doing 50% of my normal weight, that's great. I'll just do more reps. I'm able to work out to get a sweat again. Just enjoying small victories like that feels so great. It just makes you so happy. I really hope these tips help you guys out. I know injury sucks. It's not fun, but just know that there's things that you can do to help it recover. If it's going to need surgery, unfortunately, there's not much you can do. You might have to go under the knife for that. But once you get under the knife, then you can start applying these steps, see your physical therapist, and you can start healing again and getting back to what makes you happy and being able to do all the daily things that you've been wanting to do. If I've mentioned anything that you have questions on, or if you want to add some other alternatives of ways that you've healed your shoulder, definitely leave them in the comments below. So that way we can have this as a resource to knowing what works and what doesn't work. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Do me a huge favor and watch one of these videos over here. And don't forget to punch one more ticket on that game train. And we'll see you next time on More Self Build.